or good afternoon, or good evening,
Good
whatever.
Good
Guys.
morning.
Is my mic working?
Yeah, it's working.
I
Alright.
hear you.
Awesome. Yeah, it's evening. It's evening here. I think it's pretty early in the morning in the States.
Yep.
Okay, not too bad. It's 11 p.m. for me. Do we not? Yeah, right. Are you feeling all right today? Derpy? Yeah.
Hello, is it working? Huzzah! I don't know where my icon's got. My avatar's gone. It just disappeared. I should fix that.
Hello.
Oh,
Yeah, where?
yeah, I need one. What happened to it? Weird. Yeah, I've got a great new deal for you. You can trust me.
Very, very suspect. Box of
Yeah,
kids in the
Liam's a
house.
bot.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Yeah, machine learning's never sounded so good. What have I done?
Hey, Max.
Anyway,
Happy
doesn't matter.
Monday. I haven't even spoken with Max yet this week.
Yeah, man.
No big ditches.
Good to see you. Good to
Good to
hear from
see
you.
Yeah, it's 8 a.m. here in Pacific Coast.
Oh yeah,
Lots
there
of
we go.
fun.
You're in Cali at the moment.
Yep, I'm in California.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, normally when I'm joining these, I'm in Portugal, but today I'm going to be in California for the next month. So
Solid. Well, good morning to you then, sir.
yeah, and good evening to you.
Oh,
Welcome everybody. Welcome. We're gonna give everybody just another few minutes to join in. We also have the Neon Queen Wenji gonna be joining in here any second as well. She's chatting us on Slack, so she's just getting in right now. Ooh, 31. I just love looking at all the profile pictures and seeing what everybody has.
that's actually what I'm doing right now. The animal representation is high, which is always nice.
Representation's high.
Yes, I think that we should ban anyone that has an OK Bears PFP.
Especially that Julius.
Oh, yeah, there's definitely an OK Bear in here.
Yeah.
Julius Irving. Shout out Julius.
Uh-oh. Need to keep an eye on him.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I need to ask Mixor for some workout tips. I need to get on that level.
Weak, Naef. Weak.
I know. I am embarrassing. Like I'm really glad I'm not on camera right now. I feel really insecure. Welcome everybody. Just gonna get started in just another minute. We have a lot to talk about, and we sent over to Box of Kittens, who's going to help co-host this, a list of questions over the weekend that we gathered through Twitter, through Discord, through some of our DMs. And Box of Kitten has officially given us the okay and the approval that these are all of the quote hard questions.
All right. Just bring it on, I guess. I love this
Avatar.
lineup, by the way. We've got it's basically, a lot of the core team, and then we got Box here. You might as well just be an honorary team member at this point.
I'm a mod, so I can attest to that. I am a team member. But yeah.
Well said.
Woo!
Yes, but when you decide that you need a team nurse, I'm all in.
Yeah.
Well-
that was like. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Max.
No, go ahead, Nave.
No, I was just gonna say, like, that was one of the things, like, in the Discord channel, people were like, "Can you hire Box of Kittens, like, professionally?" I was like, "I'm pretty sure she works in the medical field, and spent a lot of years and money training for that. I don't know that she necessarily wants to join the mod team, like, professionally full time." Neon Queen in the building. Mhm.
Well, if my previous career, has taught me anything, it's always useful to have a well-trained nurse nearby.
Yeah,
I was
I
gonna
would
say-
like to say that Max the other day was telling me, he's like, we were talking about a problem. He's like, well, is the problem acute or is it more of a chronic thing? And I was like, tell me you were a doctor without telling me you were a doctor.
Sometimes you just can't kick the terminology, but it was effective, right? I mean, we were talking about
I understood everything.
All right,
All right, Wedgie in.
we are here.
Welcome.
So we
All right,
have
let's go ahead and
everybody.
kick off. Yes. Let me go ahead and kick it off for us. Welcome, everyone. My name is Naif, aka Habibi. I'm one of the team leads here at Nyan Heroes. And today we have a special guest that's going to be co-hosting with us, Box of Kittens, one of our favorite mods. Shout out to the mod team. And so this is a special town hall / not a special town hall. So this one is obviously coming in response to some of the concerns that the community, especially the Neon Ascendants community, has raised regarding our transparency, regarding our roadmap updates and things like that. And on some levels, we're quite glad that this happened because it gives us an opportunity to really like check ourselves and really put in some processes in place. And you're going to hear about those today and some of the solutions that we have in place. But today on our panel, we have Max, who is our co-founder and CEO. We have Wenji, who's Raya Hearts, who's also our co-founder. And I just changed titles. So Wenji, I'm not actually sure I know your new title. But she is our resident badass, our resident chiller, and taking over so many different parts of our partnerships and investments. And then we also have Liam, who is our lead producer on the call as well. So
And our lead meower.
the chief meower for sure. So I'm actually going to play a little bit more of the shadows here, and I'm going to let Box of Kittens really just kind of take this, and she has the list of questions, so she's going to go ahead and ask this, and I'll just kind of interject here and there, but really I'm going to let Box kind of take this one away.
All right.
Take it away, Box.
Thanks, guys. I'm glad to see everybody here. Hey, Wenji. Hey, Max. Hey, Liam. I love your little baby Nyan, whatever you did there. So as I was introduced, thank you. This is Box of Kittens. I'm one of our super mod team. I'd like to give a shout out to my friends Greenie and Ristretto and Ol, who will help me. We have taken the questions from Discord, like Nayaf said, and hopefully your question will be answered. If it's not, if a specific question you have doesn't get answered, don't get discouraged. We will have town halls monthly from now on. So there will be members of the team back next month to answer some more. But continue to drop your questions in the AMA questions channel, and we'll do our best to get all those answered over time. So let's get to it. Our first question from the aforementioned Julius Irving. Can the team explain the delays in the roadmap? Why have roadmap items been delayed multiple times and not communicated?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for the question. Thanks for the question, Julius. Okay, bears notwithstanding. The great thing is that in the past, a lot of these things was done by myself solo, and now we just have so many talented people that I can kind of assist me in answering some of these questions. So it's a great question. There are actually two parts to that question, right? So the first one is why are there delays in the roadmap? And then the second one, I guess, is why have they not been communicated? So I guess we could split this up. We have Liam here, our lead producer, that can help us answer,
Hello.
some of the roadmap and production questions. So I guess I'll pass
Sure.
that first part off to you, Liam.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, the communications bit, I'll hand back to you. It's an interesting one, isn't it? I mean, when I joined up, which was in January, we had the website and the white paper out with certain sort of ambitious goals to have a game at the end of, I think at the time, Q2, which was pushed back to Q3, some kind of game prototype. But we also had ambitions to make a AAA game, and we had a really big push to hire enough people to make that game. And we're kind of still in that ball game, and we're still recruiting ambitiously, and the team's building nicely, and we're getting in plenty of leads and seniors and veterans, and that side of things is going great, and we have to onboard them, and we have to fit them in and slot them in, and we have to get on with it. And at the same time, we have what is an aggressive roadmap that we're turning into a plan, and we're having lots and lots of planning sessions, and we also have lots of people doing lots of work to make sure we're doing the right things. But I guess a more fulfilling answer probably is that it depends on how you define game prototype, right? So I've spent some time in mobile gaming, and in mobile gaming you have this concept, not just in mobile game, but particularly there you have this concept of rapid prototyping, where you try and get a game out as soon as you can in front of some people, you people, for example, who are the super fans, if I may. We've kind of got that same mindset here in that, and that has come from Max and Wenji from the start, which is that we need to get things in front of you as soon as we can. The thing is, we don't want to get something in front of you that looks terrible, and we don't want something in front of you which is clearly just a bunch of unreal marketplace assets. What we want is to have the time and the direction to actually translate some of our roadmap into something which will impress you. So, for example, what we are doing at the moment is we are placing in milestones around, for example, multiplayer. So when we have a multiplayer where people can at least shoot each other in the head, then to us, that's the kind of first sort of prototype, right? Because people can actually play against each other using our mechs and some of our animations and some of our stuff, which isn't just all marketplace stuff. And that's a lot of work, and it involves a lot of work in terms of putting together a vision and putting together a plan around that vision and getting on with it and hiring the people, etc., 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 etc. And making a AAA game is a big deal. There's a lot of complexity. So we can make something, but we don't want to show it to you and you go, well, what the hell's that? We want to be able to show you something that will impress you. So it's not easy to just release a game prototype. It's easier to give you clips and leaks, and it's easier to give you, say, some videos of us doing multiplayer within, say, a section of Battle Royale map and doing that sort of thing. And our deadlines for that is literally this month for doing the multiplayer and having something there. But my wish, personally, the one I keep saying to the team, is that I would like a kind of a prototype to be more, we'll show you something and you will see progress, and that progress will be communicated to you through Hui and his team in marketing and comms constantly, right? We'll be able to show you, and I keep saying that to my producers and to anyone else who will listen to me, is we're not just here to make a game. We are here to build excitement, and we are here to show you progress, and we are here to communicate back at you and to show you that we've got a plan. I'm more than happy in the future to go through the plan, to be honest. I've got a roadmap, I can take you through it, just show you. And I think you will go, well, okay, there's a lot to do, But this rapid prototyping idea of just put something out there and then start iterating it and start improving it and start adding features to it and trying things out, that is definitely the model that we're doing. We're not doing the old AAA model of make something in the distance, in isolation, hide away, don't show it to anybody else, and then bring it out 3 years later. What we want to do is show you something where you can at least see progress and eventually get your hands on early as well. Although that's something where a lot of people on the team will start screaming, because it's a difficult thing to do, right? It's a difficult thing to make a game and then have somebody else having a version of that while you're still making it. It's actually very hard. So we're thinking of ways of doing that. And I guess this is the first kind of period where we've got enough people on the team to be able to think through that. So I'm not sure if that's helpful, but I think I should pause because I tend to talk too much.
Yeah. Thanks, Liam. And I would just say, to everyone here in this town hall, that the questions around the roadmap and the fact that there have been and probably will continue to be some delays in the items in the roadmap is kind of more of a is definitely more of like a high level question about how is the roadmap, I guess, even sort of made in the first place. And that all comes down to, okay, well, when the project kind of started, I was doing my best to kind of project, okay, if we don't want, of course, we didn't want to be unrealistic and say, hey, we'll have a game out in 3 months. And so, looking at the traditional sort of game dev pipelines, we were saying, okay, well, we don't want to do it 3 years, we don't want to do 3 months, we want to get somewhere in between. And what would potentially be a reasonable kind of roadmap, and that was the basis on which the roadmap was created. But of course, things are a lot more difficult in practice when you start actually trying to tackle some of these things. So, for example, even just building the team has been difficult, and we're 50 plus now. But it's taken some time to get the team to a point at which we can say, yeah, now we actually do have enough people in each department so that we can be a fully sort of functioning studio. And so, because I mean, if we had this team from day one, then I would have said, okay, yeah, maybe those timelines would have been able to be met. But because it just takes a long time to even build the team, and then for every person that comes on board, we need to onboard them, and that takes some time. And then if they're a senior level position, if they're a lead level position, sometimes the plans have to change in the context of onboarding them as well. They have their ideas too. And so, yeah, it has just kind of taken a little longer. And then the final thing is that just even setting up a studio from scratch. Now, this is something that was very unfamiliar to me, but there are a ton of studio level sort of workflow processes that need to get set up from the ground floor. Like, this is not Ubisoft that has just created a 50-person team and then they have their own tech already sorted out fully with their engine and all of their pipelines and workflows and their interfaces. It's all done, and that's taken years and years and years of work to set up their pipeline. So that was something that was new to me. So we are now having to set all of that up from scratch, which is kind of, yeah, I mean, safe to say it's setting us back a little. The after the trailer and the prototype came out, we realized, hey, we're just running at this thing at full speed. And whilst it was really exciting, and hopefully, you guys got a glimpse at, what the team can actually do with the gameplay trailer, we realized that, from a studio perspective, that was not sustainable, because we were just kind of running at things and putting things out there that would not be able to scale in the future. And we didn't have our workflows and our pipelines kind of set out properly. And so, that's what we've been working on, recently, and it's a long process. And so, yeah, I would say that some of those things are the reasons why.
And when we're talking workflow and pipeline, we don't expect much sympathy, right? Because it's like you're building a studio and you're building process. But I think where you should have confidence there is that Max and Wenji are the sort of people who, they don't just go, trash the long term, trash the game in favor of quick wins. What we're doing here is we are preparing to scale towards full production. So once we've proven out the game, the concept of the game, and once we're at a position where we can all look at the prototype and go, yep, this is definitely, let's go. Let's make it bigger and bigger and bigger. All of the things that we're doing in the background around the workflow, the pipelines, they are what every game studio need to do in order to hit full production. And full production is where you're making tens of thousands of assets, as they call them, right? So it could be artwork, it could be objects, it could be whatever. But the things around you that you are going to interact with in the game, the things that make it amazing. And just making that happen, you can't just go from a couple of people to 100 people without all of that needing to be in place. So the confidence I think you should have there is that we are engaging in that, and we have people in place now who have got 10, 15, 20, 25 years in some case experience in the games industry, right? Each one of these people. And they know what they're doing. And we know what we're doing. But we also know that we have an accountability to you that as quickly as possible we can show you progress. And I guess that's the other half of this question. But certainly I think, as someone who takes the responsibility seriously, I can tell you that the roadmap is there. The plan around that roadmap is still being put together, but we have enough plan around that roadmap that we know, everybody in the team knows what they're doing right now and are getting on with it. And we are making good progress. And we will be able to show you that very, very soon for things like multiplayer and just proving out the game to you. So I'll hand back.
Yeah, so I think we could probably move on to the second part of that question, which is, the communication side of things. And I do know that when I believe it was when Naef came on, we kind of forced him to be the marketing to be the stand-in marketing lead. It was kind of something that I was quite vocal about. It's like, we have to be a lot more transparent with our community. We have to share all of our progress. It doesn't matter what the progress is. It's like, just even if it's just someone sharing their approach to tackling something like level design, for example. It's like, let's share that, because I'm sure that people would appreciate that, and that they can read it and learn a little bit themselves as well. Like, I don't know if any of you guys read the dev blog from Niles, a level designer, but I at least found it extremely illuminating and interesting. And so I guess, that's why we started out with the dev blogs, right? I mean, we've done a number of dev blog episodes now, and that was quite good. And in terms of the dev blogs, we definitely want to bring them back. We brought on a new marketing director recently, who's in the chat at the moment. Shout out Hui. And as part of that, we had to kind of do a bit of a reset with the marketing team, and so that's completely on us. We should not have done as hard a reset as we probably did, but we definitely want to bring back things like the dev blogs, and with new sort of renewed leadership, just make sure that we continue to be transparent through so things like the dev blogs, but also through these things like the town halls. So that's on us. I don't know if Naef, Habibi, you have anything else to add on that front, but we definitely want to do better, and we will do better in the future.
Yeah, I think you summed it up well. Is so when I joined, I took over the marketing team, and the community, you all started to get to know me really well, and it was fun. But the truth is I'm really a product and operations person who happens to be slightly dangerous in marketing. And then we decided to hire somebody who's really dangerous in marketing. Again, shout out Hui. And in that transition, there was just like, all right, hey, let's reset, let's refocus, let's make sure everything goes into our marketing strategy. How are we communicating these things? And Hui's ideas are actually really great and going to give us even more transparency than I did. But that transition, the ball was dropped. There's no way around that. You guys called that out. And so I guess this is where we'll talk about one of the first decisions that was made in response to everything is, so today's the 15th, and going forward, every 30 days, either on the 15th or if the 15th falls on like a holiday or a weekend, but we will be holding town halls basically every 30 days, right around the 15th. And so this is something that's going to be established going forward. And so this access will be here every month now going forward. And then in addition to that, like Max said, dev blogs are not going away. They just had a quick reset. We kind of looked at it as season 1 of dev blogs, and now we're looking at doing season 2 of dev blogs coming out soon. So stay tuned for more information on that. But yeah, I think that's it. And also welcome Wenji to the chat.
Hey.
We
Had
just
a bit of we had tech difficulties. Yeah, how's my sound? Oh really? I think I'm not sure. Tech difficulties over here. I'm really sorry. I got logged out of my Discord and I couldn't get back in, so I'm on a new one. Yay!
Calling us from a space station somewhere. That's why
yeah, I
all
hope,
the
I don't
static.
know.
I hope your view of the waterfall is great because it sounds like you're watching a waterfall.
I know. I don't know. I'm on my normal setup, so I'm kind of confused right now. Hold on. Let me just check my settings.
All right,
Mute myself.
we're
Hi,
gonna
guys.
mute you
What's
until
up?
you figure it out, though. Okay, great. All right, so I think that answers the first question. Again, hit the AMA channel if you guys have additional follow-up questions. But be okay. It's back to you.
All right. I do have just a little bit of a follow-up on the first question. Is there going to be an update to the published roadmap? I mean, all of our queue dates are on there, have come and gone. So is that going to be something planned to be updated with some different, more realistic queue dates?
The short answer to your question is yes. We'll be doing an updated roadmap, as well as an updated website overall coming up. So yeah, and you know, if there's anything that needs to be explained in terms of why certain things have been delayed, hopefully, and you know, I'll leave it with Naif and Hui. Hopefully, we'll be able to communicate that through the marketing team.
Great, thank you. So our second question from the community is from Aki Chuaki. At what stage of development process is the game, and when do we expect it to be released?
Let me take that one.
Yeah, thanks, Liam.
Okay, what a great name, by the way. Aki Chuaki, I love that. So what stage of development? It's difficult, right? Because we're making a traditional AAA game, which is a huge undertaking and requires many people and many processes and systems in place and frameworks and blah blah blah. But we're also trying to be kind of almost like a Kickstarter indie rapid prototype in order that we can get things in front of you guys as soon as possible and just start showcasing what we're doing and be transparent. So I would say we're not really at a traditional stage of the development process. And to Max's point earlier, because we've been hiring people and dropping them in to fill out where people have been wearing multiple hats, it means that we made progress in some areas or we couldn't make progress in other areas. So for example, there's particular departments where we've only just started filling them, or other departments which are kind of nearly full. So it just means that we make progress in a non-traditional way, which is fine by me. So stage the development process, I would say in some cases we are, to those who know traditional, we were probably at a sort of a proof of concept stage where we're throwing together a demo, kind of internal demos where we can be testing out things and we can proving out really important things like, for example, gunplay. Have we got gunplay sorted out yet? Is it working? Is it what we need it to be? Because that's such a fundamental part of the game and how it needs to work. In other areas, we're kind of further along than that just because we've had people in the team in certain areas longer. So we've been able to make more progress. One of the real boons for us has been kind of a gift and a curse has been the Unreal Engine released something I think some of you know about called Lyra, which was a kind of like 20% of a game, and they just released it and they said, here you go, here's a free game sample, and it came with a bunch of systems and whatever, and we had a look at it and we decided that we would adopt a lot of that, which meant stopping some of the work we had been doing, replacing it with this. So and it meant that it advanced us in certain areas, especially with some of the online networking matchmaking type things. But overall, I would say we're still at pretty early stage, but that's not the end of the world, because this is the stage where we get to test and we get to iterate, and it means that we can actually present a lot of stuff to you and show you a lot of rapid progress from a point fairly shortly down the road, in my opinion. Although other people in the team might go, no. Actually, I do believe that, and I think quite a lot of us believe that there's a lot to show you fairly soon moving forward. Like I said, including multiplayer, which is something that, again, we were delayed because we moved over to Lyra and we had to just start some of the systems again and replace some of the work that we've been doing. But it was worth it in the end because it has advanced us in certain stages. So I think we're not following a traditional development process. There are certain traditional things, certain processes that you have to follow, but we've got ourselves a vision. Last week we were going through a really very detailed technical and product roadmap and breaking it down into plans, etc., and doing that in a very detailed way because we've got kind of the right people to do that. And so each time we do that, which would probably be like once a quarter, each time we do that, we break it down into much more detail. We analyze, we get on with it. But that's at a kind of a level where many of you wouldn't be that interested because it's not something you're going to see. It's a lot of the background systems and frameworks that will support millions of players, right? And that's the kind of thing where it's not easy to be transparent about that. So, oh, by the way, we've done these things, and you'll be like, okay, or we can't see it, so who cares? And I'm not saying you would respond like that naturally, but you might. If you want to see more visible stuff, that's the sort of stuff where I'm saying I think we're going to be able to provide you with a lot more fairly quickly. So when do we expect the game to be released? So I'm just laughing nervously. When do we expect the game to be released? Not tomorrow. So I would say, it's going to become more and more comprehensive as a game, right? As time goes on, we're going to be able to show you more and more features, more and more of the vision coming true, more and more of the roadmap and talking about that. And don't forget, like when we go out with a game this big, we're going to have to move into a live game with live operations, and it's battle royale, so season passes and lots of content and lots. So we're ramping up for that and planning for that as well. So when will it be released? I think it will be a rolling release. I think that we will hit a stage at which we start adding people, possibly from this community, which I think was one of the original promises, right? To start having a look at it and testing it, and then we'll just ramp it up and add more and more people as we go, and that will be something that will happen not anytime soon. And to be honest, it's very difficult for me to give you an answer. I mean, it's not going to be this year. Will it be next year? I hope so. But the game, I know what you mean by when will the game be released. I think it's going to be more of a case of you're going to get your hands on it before other people get their hands on it, because you're going to be able to get as part of the. I think on the roadmap it's beta testing, right? You're going to be part of that. So that's certainly something we want to do. So yeah, that's probably enough detail. I'm happy to take more questions on that and give you more detail and whatever.
Thanks, Liam. We heard you say it. We could see more stuff soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I
Yep.
mean that, and that's absolutely, because one of the things that we've done when we put our plans together is we've actually got. Sorry, I paused because I'm trying not to use too many words that are kind of too producer based. But for example, every time we do think about a feature or think about the work that we're doing, we also think, what can we do? What can we show from this, right? And like Nev was saying, like with our new marketing director coming on board, there's a real push from him as well, where he's got a lot of experience in this area to really be able to take that over full time, and just drive that. Like, right, okay, so what content can we show you? What can we share? What can we say about this thing? And I'm pushing from the other end. I'm pushing with the production and dev to say we've got to do that. It should be part of how we work, right? It should be part. It should be like a Kickstarter, like an indie, like a mobile game, in that kind of relationship with you guys. And I've been saying that from the start, and I totally believe that. And I don't think that needs to disrupt the development process. I think it just needs a lot of communication and us all to work together. But I think to sort of plead for a little bit of sympathy, because we are bringing so many people on who are new and then onboarding them, so like getting them used to what they're supposed to be doing here and plugging them into the overall development, it can mean that we can be a little bit blinkered, right? We can just be like, yeah, anyway, we got some work to do, and that's why we need people like Hui to be in there and sort of lift us out of that being blinkered and just force the issue so that we don't just focus on one thing and we actually remember, hey, you're right there. We need to talk to you. We need to. I love the fact this will be a regular thing, even though you can have to mute me to shut me up every now and again, which I will now do for myself.
Thank you, Liam. I think that we can go to the next question, but it seems like in some of these questions you've answered, some of our further questions are also going to be kind of answered by what you've already said. But the next one has been placed into chat by multiple people. So it would be good to get a definitive answer on this. And this one has been credited to our friend ZM Chen. Given the failure of the Terra Luna process, do we have any plans to change the tokenomics about catnip?
Yeah. So I can take this one. Actually the answer will probably be rather short. The good thing is that with our tokenomics design, we've never been sort of just fully, we're adopting the Terra Luna ecosystem. We've always kind of gone about and said, look, we're inspired by it for sure, but at the end of the day, we wanted to adopt a hybrid system, one that was always over collateralized. And if you listen to a lot of the AMAs and stuff that I've been in the past, I reference another over collateralized coin called Frax. And we've seen cases of not only Frax but also even things like Make a Die and things like that, where if you are over collateralized and you do have either one or several baskets of assets, where you can actually just say, hey, if people do want to actually exit the ecosystem and take their stable coins and convert it into fiat or USDC or whatever it is, then we are over collateralized enough in order to do that, and that has always been something that we've been saying. So is there any plan to change what we're doing? Not imminently. The only question would just be, do we want to go even more conservative than what we've already planned? The good thing is, we have time to carefully consider all these options. We are bringing in real world economists as well to help us create these models and simulations, to kind of bolster those results. But at the moment, nothing needs to be changed, I don't think, just because our model was never solely just purely algorithmic anyway. So hopefully that answers your question. But we're at early stages of all of this right now. The key thing that we want to do right is just focus on the game. We want to focus on the game and focus on the product. All of these things we'll actually get a lot more information once we have a lot of the core game systems running. We get the in-game economy, the in-game sort of currency and the tokens and the loops and the rewards and things like that, and then we can start looking at the whole economy, tying into the fact of this crypto stablecoin system that we have planned, and then we can actually start creating real simulations with real data, to sort of confirm our thesis. But yeah, so right now nothing much has changed. We definitely have seen that we want to err on the side of caution when it comes to these things, but otherwise things remain the same.
Thanks, Max. Do we have a problem with our community members being affected by the Slope wallet drain that happened a few weeks ago? And they are asking about how they can manage that and be safe and perhaps move their Nyans. So I think Nayef had some ideas on how to address that.
Yeah, I'll take this one. So, first off, if being in the Web3 space, there are times where we have to deal with these types of like, oh crap moments, and we, and we get scared, and we've seen the hacks. And so we recognize that some of our community members did that, right? They saw the hack, they see what's going on, they want to protect their assets, and don't want to necessarily disqualify themselves from any type of an airdrop, but they did want to protect themselves. And so we don't want to disqualify anybody from participating in any future events because of that. So what we've done is we've asked the community to reach out. And so what I've been very, very strict about with our team is we can't come up with a solution for this until we understand how widespread the problem is. And so I've asked the mod team, I've asked Sheba and Derp to be able to reach out to the community and say, hey, who has been affected by this? And if you have been affected by this, please email me, Naif. And so far, I've only gotten one email. So I will ask the mods again. I know you're listening. Sheba, Derp, can you guys throw into the main channel my email address? And if anybody has been affected by the slope finance issue and has moved out of the wallet or has unstaked or has done any action whatsoever in order to protect their assets in that event, please message me. What we're going to do is we're going to go back into the blockchain logs, and we'll make sure that everything checks out, and that you moved your assets right around the same time that the slope finance issue was happening. And if everything checks out, we're going to do what we can to make sure that you can still participate. And so yeah, that is that. But one more thing real quick related to that. In the process of the whole slope finance issue, there's a lot of confusion in the community around, well, will this disqualify me for a mech airdrop? Will I still be able to participate in the NYN airdrop? And those are two different things. So real quick, in order to qualify for the mech drop, right, all Neon holders are going to be getting a Genesis mech airdrop to them at some point in the future, aka really, 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 really soon, but I can't tell you the date yet. And little alpha. And in order to qualify for that, the only thing that you need to do is you need to own a Neon NFT on the snapshot date. And we're going to be communicating what that snapshot date is well in advance, so everyone will have plenty of time to make sure that they own. In order to qualify for the NYN airdrop, that is a completely separate thing related to the Nyan DAO. And we did release a Neon DAO proposal that was recently approved. So if you go into your Discord channels and you go over to the DAO chat, you'll see some of the proposals and the governance proposals there, and you can see what it takes to qualify for the NYN airdrop. But final thought, please email me if you've been affected by it, and we will do what we can to make sure that you are made whole again.
Thanks, Naya.
Thank you. Great
So
question.
you're welcome. Moving on, this question is again from our kind of okay friends, Julius. Has the team managed to fill all the major roles it's looking to fill? And has talent acquisition been a major challenge? Again, there's another piece to this. So if so, do you see it as a potential impediment to the progress on roadmap items, or is it really not a major concern for the team?
Maybe Liam, do you wanna
Yeah.
give your opinion on this
Yeah.
one?
Do you want me to tell the truth?
Yes, always.
We actually, do you know what? We're doing pretty well. So when we put our original plan together back in when there were like quite a few leads in place back in January, we all sat down and we put together like a basic roadmap of how do you make this game, and what kind of teams are we going to need to put together. And then we turned that into sort of an org chart, and we started hiring against it. And it's been pretty solid, actually. It's been pretty good, and they have helped us enormously by sort of taking that over and making it a little bit more sophisticated more recently. And we've got ourselves a talent acquisition guy recently as well, Adrian, and he's been doing great guns. So we've put a lot of effort into this. I would say it's been very hard because it's a very competitive market at the moment. There are a lot of game studios starting up, and there's a lot of hiring. So I think I've been pleasantly surprised by the rate we've been bringing people in, and I think, yeah, we've still got some departments which are empty. But luckily, most of those, it's okay. We don't need them right now, but we're going to need them pretty soon. But what we do is we're meeting every week about this. We're also I've got a new guy who's started, a guy called John, who's just started as my development manager, and he's putting big planning together around like capacity management, as they call it, which is where we look at where we've got staff shortages and we look at where we need to fill those gaps, and but more importantly, when we need to fill them. So if it's like in 6 months' time, you're definitely going to need this, then we're doing that kind of stuff, right? We're prioritizing where we need to. So none of which is particularly fascinating news, except to tell you we're taking it very seriously. Where I've been pleasantly surprised has been we really are attracting a lot of people to this project, and I think a lot of that is through Max and Wenji and the amount of support in the community, and people do their due diligence around like, well, okay, do we want to work for this company or not? It's a new company, whatever. And in many cases, the vast majority, people actually really want to come and work here. They like the culture, they like what they see, they like what they hear of the game, they like how active the community is, etc., etc. And they basically move from jobs where they've been maybe there for 10 years or something, right? Or where they've got like 15 years of game experience, and they come and work with us, and then we win. And that's been happening a lot. And I think there's been a lot of hard work with recruitment. A lot of the leads have been doing huge amounts of work. Most of the major roles have been filled. I mean, new ones come up, right? So, for example, we know that we're going to need to strengthen, say, a team around security and a team around live ops when we go live, live operations. So, being able to run live events and be able to look after community and moderate community and all this sort of thing. Like, there's that sort of team we're going to have to build. But we're doing it in stages, and we're doing it sensibly, and we've got a good plan. And so, yeah, it's definitely been an impediment on the roadmap items, definitely, because where you've got, say, a situation where back in the day, back in January, February time, we had one person in networking or online engineering. Obviously, that's an impediment, right? Because particularly where they have to wear multiple hats across different things they're supposed to be doing. But that's okay, because that every studio goes through that. Every studio goes through those problems. Where we've been putting a lot of effort is scaling. So some of us have got experience where you need to be really careful when you build a team up that you are ready with the kind of like the support around the team. So you make sure you have enough people who can support them, and also the infrastructure to support them, and the systems, and that kind of workflow stuff that Max talked about a little bit ago. All that needs to be in place too. But I would say, yeah, definitely impediment on progress. Always will be, right? Because we've got like 50 or 60 people now, but we need to grow that bigger if we're going to fill all the roles that we need. And I'm confident we will. But what we do is, like I say, where we go, oh, we're in trouble, we need to really bulk up Team X, Team Y. We'll just prioritize that. We'll go off and we'll chase those. And especially now we've got a recruiter whose full-time job is to do exactly that. It's really helped us. So let's see.
Yeah, and I just want to jump in here. Thanks, Liam and the team. Everyone here really enjoys working here, and I think if you know anyone that has a talent in Web3 or is looking for a job in Web3 or looking to join a really good game that wants to save 1 billion cats, don't forget to check out our LinkedIn page. We put up all the open job offers there, and you can follow and check that out, and also share that with your friends and people you know. Thank you. That's me.
Thanks, Wenji. Thanks, Liam. I like listening to Liam. Well, first of all, because I like listening to him talk. And
I
I like
know, right?
listening.
What? Well, hang on. Yeah,
He
carry on.
sounds so intelligent,
Keep talking. I like this.
Very
But
posh.
we also like the confidence. We feel confidence in the team building and the processes. So multi-level likeness of the Liam. Thank you. So our next
That's
question.
very kind.
You're welcome. The next question is from our legendary friend Chris. The question is, catnip was supposed to be for a couple of months with the staking. Are we still able to stake? And is this because the 1.5 million hasn't been used up due to lack of people staking? Or how are we getting the funds to fund our staking expeditions?
Yeah, so in terms of the catnip staked, I actually just checked with our backend guy, Maddie, and he tells me that it's 89 million catnip has been staked. And I do believe that when we originally made the pledge, it was something like 150 million catnip. And so, yeah, basically, there's no need to kind of stop that initiative at the moment because the original amount hasn't been collected. So yeah, I do think we can at least keep it going. For the near term, just because some people are lazy and they don't want to send their nines out for expeditions doesn't mean that we have to stop this.
Excellent. So that
Easy
means
answer.
everybody needs to go and get some more nines and stake them immediately.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then we will obviously, as the number starts to approach, we will have internal discussions about what is the best next step. But for now, continue sending them out on the Tundra expeditions, on the 30-day expeditions, and keep getting that catnip.
Awesome. So we're getting close to an hour, and it would be nice if we could take some questions from the audience or questions from our Discord channel. I'm not sure. Derp, are you able to jump in there and see if there's any questions, or how do we want to go forward with that?
So we've had if I could just jump in, we've had a couple questions come in through the Discord, and so we should probably do that. But if anybody also wants to unmute themselves, Derp, you can also allow them up onto the stage as well.
Yeah, sure thing. So I'm gonna. Would anyone like to hop on stage and ask a live question? Otherwise, I'm going to pull our first question from the AMA Questions channel, and that is from Restretto, our mod. Is there a use for the non-participation token now?
I like this one. I'll take it. Actually, Wenji, me and you should take this one because Wenji's actually heading up on this project. Yes, there is a use for the participation token. We're quite stoked about it. It is going to be a merch thing. It's going to be a special merch drop. It's not going to be a hoodie. It's not going to be a desk pad or a shirt or a keychain or anything like that. It's going to be something much, much, much cooler. We are currently, I can't say it yet because we have a contract that our legal team is currently reviewing with them for the partnership first. So once the partnership gets locked, then we can tell you what it is. But I could tell you that I think the community is gonna lose their minds over it.
Yeah, it's gonna be so cute. It's
But it's gonna be
literally
a
what
merch
you
drop.
think we would release, yeah, as merch. So it'll be a physical merch drop as well. So we're really excited to release that. So we're gonna have this is gonna be the first kind of installment and preview to what's to
All
come.
right. So
We really
next question. I feel like we've already answered some of these, so I'm gonna kind of skip through unless I hear somebody kind of hop onto the stage. Are you planning on releasing a beta version to get people into the process of helping you create the game and build the Kitty Empire? That was asked by Thea. Max, you want to take that one, or Liam?
Yeah, I kind of talked through that one earlier. So the beta to me is, well, anyway, yes. That's the quick answer. Yes, we are. Amongst, I mean, it'll be kind of like a friends and family thing, right? Where some of you were promised that from the beginning or you were promised that from the beginning that NFT holders will be able to get in there early and that's fine by me. We're definitely going to do that. I just couldn't tell you when it's going to be, but yes, absolutely.
Awesome. Yeah. So I'll just move on to the next one as well. So just a reminder, if you'd like, just request to speak, and we'll let you on to the stage to ask your question. But we have a question from MMA Tuan, and that is, will delegating access to other players be available from the start? And is there any updates to using a controller in the game? And I'm guessing this is pertaining about the rental system.
Sorry, were there two questions there? What was that? What was the
Yeah.
first half?
Sorry, the first question is, will delegating access to other players be available from the start?
I think it's difficult to say exactly what will be available from the start, because as Liam was talking about, we are going to be doing rolling update releases to our product. So it's like right now, we're not sure what exactly the feature is going to be available in, say, the alpha or the beta, and which ones will be available later on in a future update. So when it comes to things like NFT rentals, it's like, well, if we were to actually think about it, and for example, if our senior development manager, Mr. John Walsh, that Liam alluded to, were to look at that and say, okay, what do we actually need in the first sort of iteration of the game, and we're looking at the size of the team. It's like, okay, what are we going to prioritize? Are we going to prioritize things like abilities and gunplay and loot boxes and whatnot, or are we going to prioritize things like NFT rentals? I'm sure in the absence of enough resources, we'll probably say, okay, we want to make sure that the gameplay is solid. So in terms of priorities, that's probably where they're going to lie. But it's still up in the air, because obviously we will also have a team that's dedicated to integrating various blockchain elements into our first alpha as well. And so in terms of what blockchain elements are integrated into that alpha, the scope is still uncertain. So do we want NFT rentals in the final iteration of the game? The answer is, of course, yes, we do. Will it be there in the beginning? I don't know at the moment.
Awesome. And then
Do the controller.
Yeah, the controller. Yeah. So any updates on using a controller in the game?
Yeah. Just kind of more hearsay, really. I know that there has been some controller support already talked about, because we're using Unreal Engine 5. This kind of be careful what I say. Let's just say some inherent support, and certainly the way we're doing things, it would not surprise me at all if using the controller wasn't actually quite straightforward. But yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. But I don't think it's going to be that big a deal to have controller support. Having just remembered conversations that we've been having with some people. So yeah, should be fine. Trust me. Be
represent
fine.
the controller gang. Need that. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, I think I can take in one final question from the AMA questions, since we're a couple minutes towards the end. So this from Julius again. So it's fully understandable that building out a team and a game from scratch is quite an extensive process. With the game more likely going to be late 2024 or later, does the team have additional venues to obtain more funding should runway become an issue?
Sorry, one of the things in that. I just wanted to clarify. One of the things was like, given that the game will be delayed to 2024 or later. Is that what was written?
No, he says, with the game more likely going to be late 2024 or later, does the team have additional venues to obtain more funding should runway become an issue?
Okay. Well, first off, I would say, hopefully Liam doesn't kill me for saying it, is that
No.
I don't think the game will be delayed to late 2024 or
No,
later.
not me.
I really, that in my eyes, that would be a complete failure of the team to sort of deliver what was originally promised. Honestly, we were trying to target, or at least I was trying to target the end of this year, so end of 2022 or early 2023 was the thing that we were kind of saying. I think that might be delayed by a quarter or two, maybe 3, but I can't see it being delayed for over a year plus. Late 2024, I don't see that happening. So I just wanted to address that initial part of that question, which is, I don't think we're going to get to 2024 or late 2024. In terms of the second part, I know, Wendy, you were going to say something?
Yeah, because we're not being delayed by that long, I don't think, we're gonna run out of runway before the game. We've got plenty of runway, but also we're also doing other activities, which I would love the community to participate in, which is our NFT drops that's coming up.
Did Wendy get muted?
Sorry?
Oh, what'd you say, Box?
What was that, Box?
Oh, I thought we were waiting for Wendy to say something, and I didn't.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Sorry.
Go ahead,
Actually, the same thing is happening. Wenji, you're muted for some people, and it's just dead silent. So sorry for interrupting you earlier.
Oh,
But when you're talking, sometimes it's just dead air.
oh, that's so weird.
Can we hear? Because
Okay.
I can hear.
Okay,
I
it's
can
working
hear
for
her
me.
now.
I believe you guys may have muted her in the past when she was giving off feedback, but you can proceed, Wenji.
How rude.
Sorry. Yeah, so I think the most important thing is for the community to gather together and kind of support our NFT drops, our merch drops, and that would give us definitely more funds to build a bigger team and make it happen even faster, or even implement features even quicker. So I think there's two parts of it. We're good, but also I think the more funds we have, the better a game we could build and the more cats we could save. So we have some activities coming up, which will be really exciting for you guys to participate in. And it looks so good. I'm so excited.
Yeah, and I think, we want to make sure that, our runway and our funding is not in jeopardy. So, we basically have multiple sort of strategies to ensure that we continue to get the funding that we need. As you guys know, our treasury management was all good with all the stuff that happened in the space with 3 Arrows and a bunch of other centralized lenders sort of just completely falling apart. So from our perspective, treasury is good. We have a good runway. However, I'm sure you guys can all relate. It's nice to have a buffer. And so, in terms of more funding rounds, et cetera, more community sort of events as well that Wendy was talking about, we want to kind of have a holistic approach when it comes to funding. So, going to continue to talk to people. We're also talking to other chains, other ecosystems that are interested in onboarding us into their platforms. And as part of those conversations, they also have additional funding initiatives that we can kind of take part in. So there's lots of things going on as part of our overall business model and business strategy. And we'll be basically, looking into each thing just to ensure that we are not putting all our eggs in one basket.
Yeah, and I think, as Max mentioned, we're very lucky to have a lot of big ecosystem partners and other large partners that are very interested in this project as well. So that's always a good sign for a project that, if anything happens, there's a lot of partners that are willing to help out and give us a hand. So that's really great.
Awesome. And I think this wraps it up for our town hall. And I'd like to thank everyone for participating. Any last words or goodbyes from you guys?
Meow.
Pet a cat. Grab your nearest cat and give it a nice little pet, and then clean your clothes because you probably have fur in it. But yeah, Nyan. That's all. Thanks for joining, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye. See you in
Thanks,
30 days.
everyone.
Yeah. Thank you, Box O.
We'll see you in chat. Bye-bye.